Welcome back. In this session, we will see 10 strategies that will help us sail through the salary negotiation. So, let's begin. The first one is confident approach. It is very necessary to be confident. Why? Because when you have confidence in your own self, the one who is taking your interview, he'll have that feeling that this person is really confident to do that role, and that makes him confident about you. So it is very necessary to be confident about the role that you're applying for, the skill sets required. If not, you can always go and learn, but it is very necessary to show that you are very confident about that particular position. Not above, not below, you need to be confident. The next topic is showing enthusiasm for the job. What is enthusiasm? You're excited, when this job would be offered to you, or even now thinking about that job, you're really excited. You are looking forward to get that position. That is known as enthusiasm, the excitement, joy that you'll be getting when you'll be offered that position. Now, how is it helpful? When somebody is excited, that vibe is passed on to the person in that surrounding. So when an interviewer takes your interview and you're really excited, you pass on that positive vibe, the enthusiastic vibe, and the person feels that. That is very necessary. Also, imagine you are about to start an you are about to join this organization, and your start is, okay, I would like to join you, or like, okay, I'm excited to join you. Which one do you think the interviewer would love? Obviously the excited one rather than that dull one. Okay, I can see. So nobody likes these kind of people, not at least at the start. Probably when you left or you will be leaving the last organization, you might be bored. But was it the case when you joined it? No. Everybody wants excited, enthusiastic people. Also, this is a very important, because imagine there's an HR who has to take 30 interviews in a day, or let's say 20 plus interviews in a day, has to go through hundreds of resume in a day. Imagine everybody are dull. Okay, I'm interested, I want this salary, I'm not interested. Different set of people who are not excited, who demand more, who are not at par, who are not confident. And there you come, right with that confidence, right with that enthusiasm. It is like amongst a herd of people who are wearing black colored clothes, you are the one who is wearing white colored clothes. You can easily spot that person. So you want to be that person, so show enthusiasm for the job that is being offered. It is okay in case you wish to decline, but when you're in that position, when you're sitting giving an interview, you have to show enthusiasm. Next is focus on employer need. Please understand that a sales role in, let's say, X company, you're being offered same role in Y company and you're happy to do that. However, do you think both these roles will have exact same expectation from their seniors or from the organization? Not possible. Every role in different organization will have so many things apart. There will be so much difference. Why? Because values of both companies would be different, expectation would be different. The way around, X company has, for example, let's say sales manager in X company, it is like, you be really harsh with people, you be strict with them, force them to do stuff. That is their value. And the other organization would say is that we'll encourage people. How? With our leadership, we'll give surplus bonuses on whatever they do, we'll give fantastic slaps to them so that they feel encouraged. So both have different values, you can't compare. So probably you are good here, but you want to come here in this role, then you need to understand that this role, definitely what you have learned is good, but this role expects something else as well. And how would we come to know? During interview also you can come to know what the this organization is expecting. So for us, focus should also be on employer rather than just ourselves. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Next is adaptability. The way in which here your role was, say these are the two roles that you had. From this role, which was very strict, very strict, to here very encouraging, would you be able to adapt this? An interviewer has those skill sets to understand. So you have to be very open. So you have to be open about being adaptable to the new organization. Here it could be strict, but here it is encouraging. So ensure that you are adaptable to this particular organization, because you want to apply interview here. So that is very crucial, adaptability. The next is know your standing. That means where do you stand, where would you position yourself. Certain things that you can check is on Naukri or Monster or any other portal, how many number of people have applied for this position, what skills do you have for what they have asked, where is that organization in the stage, is it stable department, does it require more number of manpower, the news feeds or the news updates that you have you done your homework well? If you have done your homework well, you'll come to know what this organization actually wants, and once you know that, you'll be able to see where you stand. Next is listen and observe. Now when you have done your homework well, you'll be able to grasp subtle signs or indications what interview is trying to say you. When you have done your homework well, you will come to know there would be some ambiguity or confusion in your mind about certain things. So during the conversation, when you're having conversation with the interviewer, or when you are in that premises, probably when you observe things, you will definitely get some hint. If the conversation is, let's say, even on phone, you can come to know if it is for more than 5 minutes. At the office when you're sitting, how is the culture there, how are people behaving. Even during interview, interviewer definitely would tell you something about their company. Why? Because they want to tell something that you should be expecting in future. So most interviewer will definitely tell you. So you have to be very observant at this point of time, and you should be able to listen what this interviewer is trying to say. So we've clubbed both listening and observing, both we have covered together. Both are important, your eyes and listening. Together you have to be alert in these things. The next is amount of communication ratio that you should maintain. See, what do I mean by a ratio? When you entered that particular office or on phone, let's say total words that you've spoken or total time that you've taken, total is 100, let's say for example. Out of that, you spoke 90% of the time and you just left 10% of the time for the interviewer. Now, we would not want to do that. For us, the ratio has to be between 50 to 70. We should speak 50% of the time. Let the interviewer speak 50% of the time. If he is not speaking at all, still insist through asking question. If interviewer asks you something or something goes, how does it happen in your organization? Can you just brief me about it? What is this role in the organization? Whatever he is saying, that becomes a base for us. Suppose that we can ask something else. But we have to ensure, allow that person to speak for 30% bare minimum. Right? If he is very enthusiastic, let him speak more. When the interviewer speaks more, we'll get more information, and probably the person would feel nice speaking about the organization. So if he's speaking, don't cut him off. He should be the first person to say. And since he's interviewing us, he'll always give us time to speak. So our should be at least 50%, and the interviewer should bare minimum speak 30%. So that is our job. We'll ask him question if he's not speaking, so that we come to know more information. What expectation does that person have in mind? What does company expect from this role? Unless and until we will not hear from the interviewer, it will be difficult, or it could be presumed on different grounds. So it is wise that the person should speak. The next is, what is the core or the USP that this role demands? Now every role at certain point requires certain things which are specific, and it is irrespective of the core job duties that you have. Certain roles are required to be, a manager is required to be a firefighter. He needs to solve problem day in day out. He should not get exhausted solving problem, because there's a huge team, organization is not well set. They want somebody to solve every problem everywhere, day in day out, in spite of everything. Let's say that person is not an extrovert. Out of those 10 skills, currently there are 10 people having all those 10 skills. All are well equipped, they all have the required skill set. However, at this point of time, they want somebody who will be solving issues for them and ensuring the process is smooth. That is their core requirement at this point of time. Why? Because they already have 10 people with the same skill set, more or less everyone is same. But at this point of time, what a leader they want at the moment is somebody who can quickly solve the issue that they have. So it's our job to find those issues, and it's our job to resolve those issues. How we can find it? By asking questions and observing and listening, and basis that we can always put ourselves, or put that particular core quality of ours which would differentiate us from the rest of the crowd. So homework or research on the organization is very necessary. That will, the information that you collect, it would just go like this. So the more information you have, better for you. The next is, appreciate the negotiator. Let's say in salary negotiation, when you are negotiating, in the end, always appreciate the person sitting next to you. Goodness, you are a real tough negotiator. It was really a challenge. I really liked it, but you are a tough negotiator. I must appreciate that. You can say something like this. Why do we say that? In starting, we'd already discussed it is a collaboration between two parties or between you and the organization, and nobody wants to feel defeated. In seesaw, we saw that. So if somebody has to win, the other would feel cheated, other would feel he's lost, and we want to work for that company. So it is, so what we want to work for that organization, and we do not want people to have grudges against us, that because if a person is defeated, he'll not like us, and we do not want that, at least at the starting of the organization. So even if you have got the best of everything the company has to offer, in the end, appreciate at this level. If any which ways you have not got it, you can just say thank you. But if you think you have got little better, just little better, please go ahead and appreciate specifically that, wow, you are such a great negotiator. It was really challenging. This is a skill set, I must say, is fantastic that you have. Something like this you can always say. Even if you've got 100% of what they had to offer in the salary component, they had offered you shares, they had offered you holiday, they had offered you stay at their organization, telephone, food, everything you have got it. In the end, it is must to say this. So please ensure you appreciate the person sitting in front of you, with whom you had negotiation in terms of salary. And the last is, sell yourself. What do you mean by sell yourself? Before asking any hike, let's say they have offered you 10,000, you want 11,000. Now when you directly say I want 11,000, no, what you would do is since you've done your homework well, since you have observed and you think this could be a USP, what you will do is you will say them that you require this X skill, and if you see my past, I have already done that. Not only X skill that I'll be serving you, I'll also think about this Y and Z skill which is there in me, and if I utilize in your organization, I can be of great help in helping this department or this organization moving it to a greater heights. You can always go ahead and share it. See, for you, your role is important. Even if it is 1% in that organization, it matters. So don't put yourself back that you are not important. Even the person in the one who is at the most bottom level, each individual is important for a company. They might not come and say you, but the role is really important. So your job, before any, in the salary negotiation, any point of time you want to say no, I want 11,000, any point of time, all you have to say is sell yourself. Tell the other person that this is my skill set which is way beyond. This is my skill set that might help you here. This is my skill set which will solve the issues that you have at this point of time. So you have to sell yourself, sell your USPs to the person sitting next to you, sitting in front of you, and then quote the amount. Every time you are offering this, you must say, and you don't repeat the same thing over and over. Keep 2 to 3 things and repeat them. If you have more, go ahead with it, because the salary negotiation doesn't happen over periods of time, right? So when it comes, you just say that. When you park that, what do you mean when you park yourself or your qualities first is you are telling the person that I am valued, I am really important for this role, or this role requires this particular skill set and I have that. That is why I am asking you to pay me more. That also shows you are humble in asking. You will not come as arrogant person. So it's a positive impression rather than a negative impression. So always sell yourself first before sharing the amount. First time it's okay. Once that first amount is fixed, post that when you want a hike from there, for that this is you should always sell yourself first. Sell your qualities, sell what all good things you have done in past. So these were the 10 strategies or approach which you can take, and this would be really helpful in interview. But for applying all these things, you need a little bit of practice and real good research. Only then everything that is mentioned here would be able to would be helpful to you. Thank you.